Hi, I'm Cindy McGonagle, and I want to welcome you to my garden here in Ventura, California. And I want to give you just a little bit of background on me. I went to school here in Southern California, at the University of California in Santa Barbara, and I studied anthropology and ended up with a degree in anthropology. And I was headed into the museum field. And I found myself making exhibits, actually reproducing plants for dioramas in Denver for my very first museum job at age 21. I fell in love with working with the scientists, learning about nature, especially how plants grow in ecosystems. And it was so exciting because we'd be reproducing all kinds of unusual things, from underwater plants to miniatures. And after that, I formed my own business, calling myself Botanic Reproductions. And I went back to school in horticulture in San Francisco, and I fell in love with actually working with live plants more than reproducing just artificial plants for people that study about plants. And while I was studying horticulture and landscape design, I was doing rooftop gardens, and I had some hotel accounts where I was maintaining the plants, and I just love working with live plants. And that love has become a real passion for me. And so I moved to Portland, Oregon, which is in the Pacific Northwest, and I had a lot of time on my hands. I felt like I was almost in retirement. And so one day I was planting some bulbs in my garden, and I heard a little voice in my head. And I thought, what's this voice? I'm used to, being scientific. And I was hearing a voice, and it was suggesting that I plant some bulbs in a different pattern than I had learned in horticulture. So I did it, and I thought, okay, where's this voice coming from? And so I went to some of the metaphysical stores, and I found out that people were actually hearing voices in their gardens as well. So I decided that I wanted to learn how to have a fairy for a friend. So one day I decided I would call in a fairy, and I heard a name because I asked for the name of the fairy, and she told me her name was Queen Demetia, and she was part of the Diamond Fairies, who are here to help partner with humans, to help humans understand how to work with the fairy kingdom in their own garden. And from then on, my life has changed forever, in a good way. And I would sit and meditate every day out on my deck, and I would receive these messages from Queen D, and they included all these recipes for teas. And I thought, well, what do I need these for? And that soon became my book, Queen D's Fairy Recipe Book. And so from there in my life, I enjoyed, working with the fairy privately, because I thought people would think I was really weird, saying that I was listening to fairies in my garden. And so she would have me do fun things like go to a nursery and say, I want you to buy pink plants or white flowers, and then she'd instruct me on where they go in the garden. There was a natural synchronicity that happened when I was working with her in the garden, a real magic. So I decided that I would start teaching children how to work with fairies in the garden. I had a fairy art school for kids. And one of the things that I taught them was a little bit of magic. So one of the things we do is I teach you how to create your own fairy wand and work with the fairies and become an activated fairy wand. This one that you're looking at right here will be similar to the ones that you can make for yourself. This one is made from an elder tree. An elder is sacred to the fairies. And it has two crystal points. One is a natural point, and the other one has been rounded off. And of course decorated by how the fairies wanted me to decorate it. Another thing about working with fairies that I'll share with you, they love high-pitched sounds. So this is a tuning fork, and it has an 880 hertz to it. And fairies love high-pitched sounds. So if you want to have fairies come and discover you in your own garden, I suggest that you play some high-pitched sounds. You can do little bells, or you can, of course, laugh. They love laughter, and they're very attracted to children's voices. Okay, So I am developing and offering you the opportunity to work directly with me online to make your own set of tools to work with nature spirits in your own garden. So we'll be making a wand, like you saw, a magic mirror that allows you to work and manifest things with the fairies' help. We'll be mixing some fairy teas, and well, of course, I'll teach you how to listen to the plants of your garden. That's called telepathic communication with the nature spirits. I plan to involve you in discovering very large city gardens that were designed by famous garden designers like Olmsted. And because I'm a psychic medium, I'm going to be able to listen to Olmsted and share that with you, messages from him and the nature spirits of some of the gardens that he's designed. And you'll be able to be right there with me and feel the energy, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to actually anchor these gardens to different portals of light that hold energies and frequencies. And when you are with me in the garden and with the garden designers in spirit and the nature devas, all you have to do is open your heart up by breathing and joining us, and you'll also get the frequencies from the gardens. This kind of light that we're going to be anchoring there will be for everyone who actually gets to physically go to the garden. So I encourage you, if you live in some of these big cities that we're going to go there and know that you're being accelerated, energized, de-stressed, and appreciated for your journey there into the garden. And I want to also let you know that I'll be doing little mini readings when I'm on these journeys. And one of the readings that I want to start with today is one from the fairies. So sometimes I'll get a direct message from the fairies, but sometimes I like to just throw the cards and ask the cards, what do the fairies want to share with us today? And this is a universal message from the fairy kingdom to your heart. So in my ear I'm hearing clairaudiently that the fairies want us to choose 3 cards. So let's see, the first card is this one. And of course it's autumn. And what's great about this is we're coming close to the equinox. It's only in a few days from now. So it's reminding you that autumn is the time of the harvest. It's the time to kind of take a breather, relax, look at the bounty that the garden is producing for you now. And for those of you who live in the southern hemisphere, it's a time of spring. So that's a re-energizing of energy for you. Okay, the second card is this one. And it's about children. And children have a natural synchronicity that is a way of opening their heart to nature and a way that engages you in your garden as well. So I encourage you to always bring your child to the garden and just kind of get into the flow of what it's like to be with a child, and especially your inner child. And the last one is to remind you that you need to let go of the old if you want to have space for the new. So when you're working in your garden, it's really important that you trim your perennials, so that they can come back in the springtime and be healthy. You need to clean up your garden of all the old debris. And then you want to also think about, with the help of the fairies, how to plan and plant your garden. And that'll also be another experience with me in the garden. Now for all the children out there, I have a special reading for you as well. And by the way, the fairies asked me to do these things for you guys. Okay, here we go. For all the kids out there and for the kid in you, this is what you need to know from the fairies. Okay, it's the card called Worth Waiting For. You know, sometimes we find in life that we just want things to happen for us so quickly, and if they don't, we get really impatient. So one of the things that's kind of hard for us to remember, what we have to remember, is to let go, enjoy the moment, and be patient. Because what you're patient for is worth waiting for. So that's what they want you to know. Be patient. And they're saying, just one more card, just one more card. It's the card that says love heals fear. Yeah. When you have fear, the fears are inside your subconscious mind and they're not coming from your heart. When you have love, it's coming from your heart. And the secret that the fairies want you to know is always open your heart to nature and to loving yourself. And that's all for today. Visit my website, cindymcgonagle.com, and enjoy the garden wherever you live. Thank you. Bye.